Good evening, traders and investors. Welcome to this Sunday night edition, this exciting Sunday night edition, April 25th of the Pre-PreMarket Prep Show. I am your co-host Joel Alconin. We do have Mr. Friesen lurking in the background here, so we will bring him on momentarily. But we need to take a quick look at the markets here, see what's going on, and see if we can get some trading ideas for the upcoming session. Rob, how you doing?
Not too bad. My camera shows it's on, but I guess you can't see me. I don't know what's going on with Zoom today. It says Zoom meeting not responding. So if you can hear me, it's a
Is it?
miracle.
It's
What else can I
well,
say?
and for this is strictly for informational purposes only. This broadcast has nothing to do with the stock price of Zoom or anything else. We are just trying to give people the best information out there to look at the upcoming trading week and well, tomorrow as well, but of course the upcoming week. But let me run things down here real quickly for you. And then I'm going to throw Rob a couple curveballs right off the bat. The futures, we sold off from that 415 close. We're only down a half a point here at 71 and a quarter. New all-time high on Friday, 86.75. We're now flat. A little bit of a weak close, a little bit of selling, but doesn't seem to make a big difference here on the open. We'll be keeping an eye on that all-time closing high price of 76 and a half. Let's take a look at crude. Crude is trading up 4 cents here at 62.18, just sitting above, well above 60 here. I don't know about getting back to that $68 level, but it looks like we got a little period of consolidation in the crude market. Gold's that's traded down 230. I mean, if 1800 is not resistance, then I need to go back and read McGee and Edwards' book on technical analysis here. But 1800, that looks like a big wall there. And if gold can't get there too soon, maybe testing that 1750 level. Silver, that's hanging on to $26. That's down just a tad here at 26.02, trying to hold 26. Silver has not been that strong as of late. Gold's been a little bit better performer. But what I want to talk about with Rob here is Bitcoin. Okay. We're down $2,900, right? We had the Coinbase IPO a little bit over a little bit over a week ago when I was gone. And I'm no rocket scientist here, but we hit a Friday low. We hit the low for the week, and we're bearing down on it. And I know, Rob, we talked about 72K when it was around 52K. But boy, oh boy, did that Coinbase IPO did that put the kibosh here on the rally in Bitcoin, or what's going on? And Rob has just lost us completely here. So let me see if I can bring back Rob here. Mr. Friesen. Nope, we have no Mr. Friesen here, so we are going to be winging it here on this Sunday night session until we can get Mr. Friesen back on. But we got a lot of things going on here. In the first, let's drill down into the S&Ps, a little bit more specifics on the technical. You guys are going to get a little bit more of a treat here because we don't have Rob talking about some of the setups for the month end, as well as tomorrow's session. But looking at the S&P, I can't really tell you all where resistance is. We did make a new all-time high on Friday at 86.75. The other all-time high prior to that was at 83.50. And we took that out. I just don't like the close on Friday. Peeled back off that. So we showed we want to make a new all-time high. The question is, can we follow through? Can we get through from that high on Friday and get close to 4,200? We do have a lot of major earnings reports coming out this week, and nothing's more major than Monday after the close. So I don't know what I can correlate as far as price action to Elon Musk hosting Saturday Night Live on May 8th. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm not sure what he's going to do on that. But a little bit of a period of consolidation here heading into the report. I've seen read different articles about good report, bad report. But I just can't get one level out of my mind. And I know I talked about 720. I'm just going to stick with that level. And the reason is that when you made that major low in March, you had a bounce up to 720. When I was gone for that week, we did get closer to 800. It really didn't stick. And it just seems like the market's really trying to decide. You hit the all-time high at 900 and you came back down just under 535, 540. You had two monthly lows in that area and you got a nice bounce. So still just debating, whether or not we want to hold 720, hit 800, or whether or not, we have a major, change in trend here where not Bitcoin, where, Tesla is just not going to have the kind of price action that it had when it had the stock split. If you think about that, you had a couple catalysts with the stock split and that being added to the S&P 500. So big report after the close on Monday. You can see the market is a little bit undecided, heading into this report, but I'm still going to stick with that 720 area. I'm going to, full disclosure, do have a long position in Tesla that I don't plan on selling tomorrow or anytime soon. But from technically speaking, still sticking with that 720 level in Tesla. Also, I mentioned we'll just drill into gold here a little bit. Talk with different people about their expectations from gold. I think gold is just in a trading range, and it's been in a trading range for quite some time. Now the top of that trading range is 1800, and until they can get through 1800, path of resistance is lower. We'll see if we can hold 1750. Silver, the one I really want to perk up, is just not doing it. You have, couple highs in the same area, like 2660, not holding. But I think why everyone is tuning in tonight and what everyone cares about is Bitcoin and Doggy Coin or Dogecoin. And there's a couple things that concern me about Bitcoin. And the first thing is this Coinbase IPO. I mean, I don't know if anybody looking at this chart anywhere can tell me that's a bullish chart. So the two are highly correlated. Actually, Bitcoin hit its all-time high the day off after the IPO. Wait, we may have nope. See if I can bring Rob back in here. He's trying to join us, Mr. Friesen. I think that's a good name for him, Mr. Friesen, because the things are freezing on us. Let's see if we can. Rob.
Now, can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Are you doing
a Verizon?
Are you doing a Verizon commercial?
You can't see me, but you can hear me. For some reason, Zoom did an update. So
really? Okay.
Yeah, I can't help that. I can't help that, buddy.
Okay.
So I think actually it was conspiracy, probably. As I was going to talk about Bitcoin, I think I got attacked.
Did you really think so? You know what? I got some weird things popping up at my browsers here. Maybe I'm gonna have to run another update there. But I'll bring you back here.
I don't know. Something's going on the network. Yeah.
Okay. So Bitcoin.
So anyway, you want my comment? or no?
Yes, I do. I do. People are tired of hearing me speak.
Well, I mean,
Someone's pretty smart. They called you Rob Frozen instead of Rob Friesen.
how about, yeah, I'm the big cooler. Don't put me out there with your when you're playing blackjack.
Oh, I think
No,
we just
so I mean,
go
I'm
ahead,
not a
Rob.
like I said, I like utility businesses. I like the picks and shovels side of things. I'm not great at speculating on things, so I wouldn't be a proponent of Dogecoin or anything like that. I'm that's not my game. That's not where I live. Um, with Bitcoin, as I said, I do some mining, so that's. But we talked about how interesting it was that the speculation, preceded the Coinbase listing, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, we hit those highs, no different than the market does before IPOs and things like that. So that seemed to be typically of buy rumors, sell news, speculate ahead of events, sell after events, and then you got the situation of this. How about the principals, you know the people involved in Coinbase? Why are they not selling some stock and then putting it right into Bitcoin? Why is it going into fiat and then buying Lambos and stuff? You know what I mean? I'm not
We
suggesting
don't
that's
know. We
happening.
don't know for
We
sure.
don't know. I'm not suggesting that, but I mean, it's like, one of those things where people cash out at some point, right? Want to get paid for all the work they do. And that's what Wall Street's all about, is about creating capital and helping companies and individuals get paid for all the time that they spend developing these things. So there's just another example of that premium that you see
Yep.
when events like this happen. Now here's the thing that I said before, was the volume on the pullbacks was really low. So I think that's still a tell in terms of what's the volume doing on these corrections. And I think you got a support area between 40 and 45,000, right? Because of the previous activity. If you want to look at a daily on that.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is good, Rob, because I'm really glad you're talking about this, because we're talking about Bitcoin here. And you know how many contracts have traded in the futures so far?
Tell me.
254. That's not very many, right? I know they're expensive contracts, but let's drill down on what you're talking about
So,
here
so
and
what? So
on the
why
daily
why we
volume.
were yeah why we were having low volume pullbacks previously is because people have moved more into holding it once they acquire it, right? So and then you had a lot of institutional interest and stuff like that. So it seemed to be less interest in selling it, more people sort of hanging on and looking for the big picture. I don't know where it's going to go, but I thought it might head towards 72,000 by July 1st. I don't know if it will, but that was my thoughts originally, and I don't have any reason to change them. Volatility is something that you have to separate from long-term holdings. You got to sit through it, or you got to trade it, or whatever you do. But
So
yeah.
just to illustrate what you're talking about, you had a $4,000 down day, and you had almost triple the volume, right? From
Mhm.
58.59 to 13.2. And you had a drop in open interest. Now, everyone listening tonight knows what open interest is, right? And that measures the outstanding contracts. So, what this indicates here on this day, this heavy volume day, there was a liquidation, right, of contracts here. So, your open interest, maybe longs exiting, but not as many new longs were substituting that. Then you had another big down day on Friday, right? And you had more liquidation of longs, right? Longs versus shorts, or however you want to look at the open interest. So, from what you said before, this is a different scenario with the heavy volume coming on down days and a decrease in open interest. And, I'm no technical wizard, but that is not the kind of price action that and open interest action. This is just in the futures too. So this is not indicative of the whole market. But I mean, I just can't get this out of my head. Look at last week's low. This is basis the futures here, 47,395. Your low just off the opening print at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 47,440. The low, 47,440. You got a pop there. I mean, any way you look at it, there's a line in the sand here. And the next stopping point is 45,000. So that's me looking at it a little bit more short-term technical. I think what you Bitcoin bulls want to see, okay, is just a couple, come down here, a couple lows, 3 or 4, 45,000, 45 and a half, and then you turn around and you rip back up to 55,000. So I'm not looking at the left side of the chart. I'm looking at the right side of the chart here. But anyways, Rob, any other? I mean, I know there's a lot of stocks that are correlated with Bitcoin. I know you have a lot of statistics on those stocks. I don't know if we have time to go into that tonight. But you want to talk about some potential probabilities for coming up on Monday's session, and then also we're coming into the end of the month on Friday. And Rob Friesen turns into Rob Frozen once again here. So Roberto. Oh my Lord. Let's see if we can get Mr. Friesen back in here.
Hey.
Rob?
I'm here.
All right, we got you back. I might have to fly out to Vancouver and start working on your computers. So while I have you here.
Have we had a problem before on this?
You know what this reminds me of? And I don't know if people want to hear these stories, but when I used to run the Bright office, 25 traders, and one of them was Dennis, and we would have technical problems with Ready, and we would have all this stuff, and I was in charge of it. I was the one that had to fix everything. Some of my biggest night, and also converting over to decimals, all those servers. But enough of that, Rob. We're just gonna couple minutes here, talk about some probabilities, some setups for tomorrow, and then more importantly, we got a week trading ahead of us. End of the month, talk about some end of the month tendencies.
So we do have the 5 last days of the month are compressed into 1 week, so we're not split by a weekend. We got no holidays, that kind of thing. So it's a full week and heading into the last day, the last seasonality event of this month. And we've got interesting scenarios here, because if you remember last April, you kind of have to look back and say, how does the data get influenced by such a rebound that we had last year? So there's some influence, but when I'm looking through the April last 5 days of the month, I'm seeing stocks like, the cruise lines doing pretty well, RCL, CCL, NCLH, looking like Microsoft doing okay.
Earnings for Microsoft this week.
Yeah, Shopify. And then on the weaker side, it's looking like some of the drug makers, some of the biotech stuff, looking like 3M settling down, being a little weaker.
Earnings on 3M coming up too.
Yeah, Lilly. So those are kind of, that's a probability backdrop of the last 5 days of the month. Let me switch to the ETFs for a sec.
Sure.
I'm looking at interesting EW Zebra, Brazil. And the thing is with Brazil, they're really opposed to the lockdown. In fact, they're looking at military support to open things up that insist on being locked down. That's probably positive for the economy in general, right? I mean, everybody looks at just the disaster from the COVID numbers, but look at it the other way around, not locking things down. So EW Zebra doing well, GDXJ and GDX, like the senior miners, junior miners. We've got XLE looking okay for this week. XLF looking okay. And on the weaker side, TLT, the bonds looking weaker. Japan looking a bit weaker. We got IBB again related to drugs, and we've got government bonds and semiconductors. SMH looking a little bit weaker as well. So
AMD earnings, AMD
yeah, so
coming
it's
up
gonna.
this
I
week
mean,
is
this
too.
is a heavy week of earnings, guys, and it is a little bit like minefields out there. So play close to your vest, and let's just flip over to performance here for a second.
Yep, do that, and then I got a real zinger of a
A
question for you.
zinger, okay.
Yeah, yep, or a zapper, whatever you want to call it, for you to end things tonight, and it comes from the cover of Barron's. Now I know you don't read that, right, Rob? You never picked that thing up, right? Uh,
Well, I mean, by the time we get it delivered up here in Canada, it's probably the next week. So what good does it do us, right? I mean, you guys have to realize not only the world's reserve currency, but you're a big population, you're innovative, you're efficient, and you're just amazing. And everybody else plays catch up, okay?
Okay. All right. Just real quickly, I
Yeah.
know AMD has earnings this week, and I just popped up the chart here, and man, oh man, I can't get $84 out of my head here.
Hmm.
84 was a high here over here. I'm just looking at this technical, so I don't know. And just to clarify with people, Rob and I are not. And also Dennis, including that, playing stock in there. Oh, are they going to beat? Are they going to miss? Or what are they going to do? For the long term stuff, I'm not looking at one earnings report. We're looking at things far out. I know as far as anticipatory plays, Dennis, strong stocks that have been uptrends. He likes to play them long into earnings. And then who knows I mean, you could have the earnings report in your hand and still not know what's going to happen. But I just wanted to do quick look technical. I mean, 78,
Well,
84. I think you're flipping a coin here in AMD, and I'm sticking with these lows here. This 74 low. You could be an AMD bully all you want. You can talk about, the video cards and everything. This thing loses $74, and it's all over, folks. We're looking at 52, 55, but it's holding 74, so you can keep your bullish hat on. That's the way it looks to me. That's a big run up. You got red and green candles on a monthly chart. I mean, if you own this thing from $1, $2, $3, and you're, getting long here at 83, 84, then, then you better take out $100 soon. I'm sorry, Rob, what were you going to add on that?
well, it's this case of if then statements. If you want to look at plain earnings, the day before there can be then an anticipatory thing, and then the day of it can be depending on what happens with the earnings
Yep.
call and stuff like that. You got to listen to that sometimes or really be careful. And then the day after, there's a phenomena, and then the 2 day settlement window, and then after the third day, it starts to get more business as usual. So you can frame things and say, I will participate under these conditions. You could have a
Excellent.
probability skew for what you want to do, and you just frame it. You literally say, if it does this, I will participate here. If it does that, I will avoid it. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be in everything all the time. You want
Excellent.
to be properly compensated for the risk that you're taking. So that's always the metric you have to look at. Am I being adequately compensated for this risk today in this instrument? And if not, do something else.
Okay. All right, Rob, we're coming up here at a half hour here, and I saw this on the cover of Barron's, and I just had to ask you about it.
Uh-oh.
And it says big money poll, like who cares? Big money's bullish 65%. So don't, trying to get me bearish if anything. But at the bottom, it says, is your trading firm supporting you? See how Schwab can help. Is Schwab a trading firm, Rob?
Well, they're a broker dealer.
But a trading firm?
Well, I guess you could categorize all broker dealers as trading firms in that they're supplying a vehicle for trading, but they're not, say, a privately, held institution that's just involved in, prop trading or whatever. So, but I would say that's okay terminology.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
still a trading firm. I mean, they're no different than TD or Robinhood's a trading firm. So the question is, are they supporting their traders? What does it mean to support a trader as a trading firm? I think some of the shenanigans that went on with all of the GME stuff probably discouraged a bunch of people that they're not being supported when they turn it off. Some of this stuff smells like when you go into a casino and you're sitting at the blackjack table and you're actually winning. Does the casino really want to support you in that endeavor?
Yeah, I just get, for all my years in the business and everything, just, being back a market maker at Oldie and trading with Bright and, being involved with, Benzinga and everything. I never thought Chuck would want to be categorized as like a trading firm. I mean, I just kind of look at, that to me, that's kind of like the old guard kind of giving in to the Reddit crowd. But perhaps I'm just a little bit jaded.
Well, I mean, okay, like say Goldman, for example. Goldman has lots of divisions. So they're an underwriter, they're also a trading firm. They trade for their own account. And you can see how many winning days they have versus losing days. Not a whole lot of losing days as a trading firm. So, but I don't know what back office trading Schwab does for their own account or anything like that. So I would think that they're mostly retail.
Correct.
And in that
They're
sense,
shipping their retail to Citadel and to these other firms and, getting paid off the order flow. But
Mhm.
anyways, when I think of a trading firm, I think of Bright Trading. I think about, StockOdds, what they're trying to do to develop, traders and stuff. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just a little sensitive, but when I saw that, caught me off guard. So anyways, just final thoughts here, 6:29. We're going to wrap things up here on this Sunday evening. S&P's holding flat. We all know where the resistance
Yeah.
is with the two highs. Bitcoin down about almost 3K, bearing down on last week's low. So let's see if the Bitcoin boys can hold that 47.4 and get it back over 55 overnight, which I don't see it happening. Crude holding well over $60, nowhere near 68. Gold, we all know we got to take out 1,800 for any more upside. Rob, any thoughts? Just not tonight,
Well,
tomorrow, but
no, I got
month
I got
end,
I got
month
lots of
end.
thoughts. If you let me go a couple more minutes,
Sure,
since I was frozen for so long.
Rob
I'm
Frozen. We got a new
I'm
name for you.
Hey, I'm looking at some big players that capitulated on their US dollar shorts. And now, since that capitulation, the shorts have been coming in pretty good on the US dollar. I'm looking for, there's a lot of commodity inflation going on here. So what happens is, generally speaking, not all the time, but because commodities are priced in US dollars, as the US dollar declines, they tend to go up. And if the US dollar rises, they tend to go down. So we've come off a pretty extreme peak on the US dollar a little while ago. And we're coming in, and look at the lumber's the obvious, right? And I feel bad for people that wanted to build their house and didn't price in lumber yet. But
Dennis.
Dennis, well, Dennis, the poor guy. um, and then he won't be able to have new shoes for his kids after he has to pay for lumber
Well,
here.
they don't leave the house anyways because they're locked out in Canada. So what's the
That's
difference?
true. Actually, yeah, that's no joke over there in Toronto. So we got a lot of other food-based commodities rising, right? I mean, the world uses a lot of canola and soybean oil. Corn is going up again. Oats is going up. Rough rice just jumped a lot. Soybean meal. I mean, you're seeing commodity-based inflation, which is probably inevitable for a while because of the supply line disruptions, but also this US dollar component thing here. And so that's interesting. Also this week we have, as I mentioned, the seasonality, but here's the context. You know, normally you get the best 6 months of the year kind of ending in April, and then this we've talked about before, the sell in May and go away concept. So the real question here is, are we going to see a Russell sort of weakness against maybe the Dow or the S&P 500? So when I look at our seasonality dashboard to see what's going on with the IWM versus the S&P, I'm looking at the last 5 trading days of the month. The S&P is supposed to perform at 0.54% on average. So we have a bullish 5 days for both the SPY and IWM, but SPY outperforms IWM. And then it drops a bit just for the last trading day. And then the last trading day of this month, which is going to be a Friday, we have minus 1.03 expected for the IWM and minus 0.36 for the SPY. So this will be where I create an if-then statement to trade that relationship on that Friday. Could be quite generous if it plays out that way. See, and this is the thing: you have your probability perspective, and there's no guarantees, but it creates a really nice backdrop, a really nice framework for you to be able to go, if I see this, or I can get prepared. Like, for example, if on Thursday IWM was outpacing the SPY handsomely, that would probably set itself up for a good overnight trade into Friday.
Okay.
And then continue to press that on Friday as long as you can. I mean, we've had some Fridays with reversals too, but the last trading day of the month is suspiciously weak most of the calendar months because of net capital computations, you know, all of the focus reports, everything that has to be done for month end. So the net capital computations really have to be brought in on some of these firms. And that's why you get that last day weakness. There's a fundamental reason why it exists. Okay.
Okay. All right, Rob. Great information. We will get you back on the show. Perhaps we could do some special on Wednesday or Thursday heading into the month end. Just wrapping things up tonight. S&Ps, we've got a little bit green here, up just a tad at 72 even. We got some important levels up top, 83.5, 86.75, and everyone watching Bitcoin tonight. See if you can hold that weekly low, which is also the low tonight. So, Rob, thanks. We got through a little bit of the technical difficulties, and great information as always. Love doing this Sunday night session with you, and we will touch base later in the week. Thanks everyone for joining us here on the pre-market prep with StockOdds.
Thank you.